Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first I want to go over the important part of our Toothpick Fish Lab is that the green gene is the dominant. Remember, dominant wins, okay? And then the red gene is recessive, and the yellow gene is recessive as well. But this codominant means that you can mix them together, okay? So make sure we're referring to this. Okay, so then let's go to the next page. Here it says fish color. So what happens and how do we get the fish color? Again, remember that dominant always wins, all right? So if I have GG, I have a green one. If I have green red, it's going to be green. And if I have green yellow, it's going to be green. So these are all going to give me a green fish, okay? Now in order for me to get a red fish, the only way for me to get a red fish is to have RR, okay? That's the only way I can get a red fish. The only way I can get a yellow fish is if I'm YY. And that might be hard to see, but yellow fish, okay? YY, maybe that's better, okay? And then orange fish, we have red and yellow are dominant. So just like in paint, red and yellow is going to give me an orange fish, okay? So red and yellow give me an orange fish, okay? So that's where we're gonna start. And then you're going to work on your Punnett squares, all right? So it said, can two red fish mate and have green offspring? So two red fish, so can they and have green offspring? So that's the question, right? So if you want to do the Punnett square, in order to have a red fish, we have to have, right, it has to have red and red. So the question is, can any of this be green? You can fill this out. Can two orange fish mate and have red offspring? Okay? Well, in order to get, we have to have a red and a yellow, right? So then when we fill this out, are we going to have any red offspring? All right, so that's the question. So you have R and Y and R and Y. And then it says, can two green fish mate and have an orange offspring? So we know it has green, but we want to get orange. Remember, to get orange, we have to have a red and a yellow. So the question is, can we have a green with a red and a yellow? And I'm going to give you a hint here that we're going to have big G, and then let's have one with a little r and one with a little y. And I want you guys to fill that out and see if you can. And yes or no. Don't forget why or why not are on all of these. Okay? So you got to not forget to do that. And then we're going to turn the page. And I don't expect you guys to have these, right? To have different colored toothpicks. They're kind of hard to get. So what you're going to do at home is you're going to roll the dice, okay? So if you have dice, you're going to roll the dice, or you can Google to roll your dice, okay? So in this one, if I'm going to use 2 dice, if I roll a 1 or a 2, it's going to mean that I pulled a green, okay? If I roll a 3 or a 4, it's red, or I roll a 5 or a 6. So let me show you an example here, and I probably should have had this open. So this is my example. I'm going to take 2. So I'm going to roll, and I got a 2 and a 3. So one of them is going to be, so this would be green, and this would be red. So if I were going to write that down for my first roll, would be a green and a red. Okay, that would be my first roll. Okay? So let's now go to the directions what we're going to do. And we're going to skip these because I just want to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go to the data table. And I'm going to throw my dice on the floor. So the first thing we do here is we're going to grab genes. Now remember, genes come in pairs, which is why you roll 2 dice, okay? So for my first generation, I would go and I would pick I need to pick all of my pairs out, okay?
And that's how the dominant and recessive gene comes to,
Into
because
play.
we have a pair.
Right. Everything comes in pairs. All right. So these are my 12. You would roll the dice. If you don't have the colored ones, you're going to roll the dice, okay? So let's say this is my first pair. So for my example, first one, I have a green and a red. So I'm going to write green, and you can use G and R. Okay, so that's my first one. My second one is green and yellow. All right. My third one is red and red. All right. So I'm just going to fill these out as I go. Let's say I did the dice again. So I have a 3 and a 6. So I would go back and I would double check. I have a 3 and a 6. So I have a red and a yellow. So I would do red and yellow. Okay? And then you jump over here to this and you fill it in. This one is green. This one is green. This one is red. This one is orange. Okay? So that's how you fill out this table. That's for generation number 1. For generation number 2, so if we read, it says that the green fish are camouflaged and the red and orange fish, but if I have any yellow fish, I have to throw out my yellow fish. So if you have the toothpicks, I would take out these yellow fish, okay? If I don't have it, then I'm just gonna cross out. If I have yellow, I will cross them out, and then I don't roll 12 times. I only roll however many times I have left. So I got rid of 2 fish, so now I only have 10 fish. So if I'm rolling my dice, I only roll it 10 times. Okay? And then, so that's the first, you do that for the first generation, the second generation, and the third generation. For the fourth generation, we have an industrial accident. Okay? So we have an environmental disaster, and harmful waste is dropped into the stream, and it kills all of our green algae. Okay? So that means anything that is green, we get rid of. So if you have any green in the third generation, they all die out. And then you roll your dice again. Okay? We will have this data up for you for the ones that me and Mrs. James did. But I want you to try. If you have to, use your dice, okay? Let us know how it goes. All right, guys, thanks. Have a good one.